Okay, this is the 9x18 Makarov, the Bulgarian Makarov. Budget without the ammunition. Right.
Greetings folks, Two and Proper here, bringing you yet another in my video series. Folks, 3 different surplus pistols, 3 different chamberings, 3 times more fun than someone dumping hot charcoal in your pockets. Let's get a look at these surplus beauties. Okay folks, so here we've got them, and what we've got here is from Spain. We've got the Star Model BM, chambered in 9x19 or 9mm parabellum. We've got the Bulgarian Makarov, chambered in 9x18 Makarov. And we've got the CZ83, chambered in 380 automatic Colt pistol. Now, you probably saw my video last week, I'm sure you did, on this here CZ83, and it is a very fun gun to shoot. But we're just going to discuss each of these guns briefly, ignoring specs, except for maybe weights. And then we're just going to talk about each of them briefly and what I like about each of them. So let's get started. Let's start with the Star Model BM. So here it is. The Star Model BM. This is chambered in 9x19. So economically, this would be the cheapest gun on the table to shoot. And it's got a pretty good finish, as you can see. It's not so bad at all. You know, this is a used pistol, and this is definitely the oldest handgun on the table, being a 1976. So let's get a good close-up of it. Let's see if we can see its branding and everything here. You can see there's a good finish on it. And there's the star. Now, where's the crest? Let's see if we can find the crest here. There's the crest. All right, so there's the star. And yeah, it's a pretty good finish. And as you can see, it looks a lot like a 1911. There are differences between this and the 1911. This does not have the grip safety right here, like a 1911. The trigger is also different in that the trigger pivots from the top, unlike the 1911, which slides back and forth like that, right? This one pivots, and that's different. And the takedown is a little bit different from the traditional 1911s, but I'm not going to be taking down any of these handguns here today. But again, the good thing about this gun right here is that it is easy to shoot. As a matter of fact, recoil is quite tame with this here Star pistol. It is very easy to shoot, and that is because it is 35 ounces. So when you've got something that's metal and 35 ounces shooting in a 9mm, well, you've got an easier gun to shoot. It's chambered in 8 rounds of 9mm. Double taps with this are very, very nice, and the reason for that is because the trigger on this is the lightest trigger of any gun I've had, including my 1911s. This is even lighter than a 1911 trigger, if you ask me, based on my memory. But let's take this thing to single action, and you'll also see how this trigger pivots, but you'll also see how it's only something like 3 pounds, maybe 4 pounds of pressure before that thing does a very clean glass-like snap. There's the pivot, then, and wow, that feels really good. And the reset is pretty close, very close as a matter of fact. Let's do this. Let's bring it up even closer in Technicolor. There it was. Really, I barely moved. And then, of course, that snap, which is very, very delicate. And you know how you should keep your finger off the trigger with any firearm until you're ready to shoot the target that you intend to shoot? Well, that especially applies to this. Now, I know that seems like a stupid statement because you really should keep your finger off any trigger until you're pointing at the target. But just in case, especially this, because I found myself accidentally squeezing off rounds, thankfully in the direction of the target, and not at family members, dogs, or anything like that. But it's a very super delicate trigger, and you can accidentally squeeze a round off. It is that touchy. So just a heads up on that one, just for shits and gigs, you might want to know that. So let's get a good look at it. Again, there's no grip safety back here. There's the hammer. And I didn't have to paint the sights on this just yet. I might, because my eyes are getting worse as each day goes by. And this is about the same size as a Commander style 1911. And again, Economically, this is the cheapest gun to shoot because 9mm rounds, you can just go down the Walmart or something and pick them up for $9 to $13 a box, and you can't beat that. So this is a very good handgun to have. I would not consider this to be a great carrier if you're going to carry all day, because 35 ounces is 35 ounces. But that's just me. It might suit you just fine. So the Star Model BM, certainly a very nice handgun from Spain. I would recommend getting it, especially since this is a very nicely made handgun for less than $300. But let's go on to the Bulgarian Makarov. The Bulgarian Makarov. Now let's get a really good close look at that finish on this Bulgarian Makarov. Now I've got to be careful not to do this and do all these oohs and ahs too much, because you guys are going to get sick of it. But I think this is a very beautiful gun with a wonderful blued finish. Just look at this pistol. Anyway, don't worry about it. You can still see both of my hands. I'm not that enthralled with it. But this is a very good handgun. Now, this was less than $400, and I got this in good to excellent condition. This one is chambered in 9x18 Makarov, right? The 9x18 Makarov. And for potency potential, it is more potent than the 380 automatic. As you can see, it's a little bit more chubbier than the 380 automatic, and it's positioned in power between the 380 automatic and the 9mm Parabellum. So, but it's quite a capable round, and it was good enough for the Soviet military and everybody to carry over there, and they all wear coats, so it's got my confidence. This here is a double action, single action, blowback operated pistol. Blowback operated pistols are easily distinguished because the barrel is actually attached to the frame. Maybe not in all cases for all blowback operated pistols, but this kind of genre of blowback operated pistol it is. And the trigger pull for this is not quite as nice as the Star Model BM, but it's all right. Okay, it's got some mush here, right? You can see that. Here's the trigger pull. It's got some mush. You can see the hammer right here. And right here. And then I give that about 5 pounds. Maybe a little bit more than 5 pounds. That could be about 6 pounds, but it's still not a bad trigger. Let's bring it up for the reset. And of course you can see the hammer is back now. Here's the trigger, and the reset comes out further. There it is right there. So it's still not too bad. It's not like you have to come all the way forward. And then the trigger pull is, yeah, about 5-6 pounds. So it's not bad. This is the most fun gun to shoot on the table for me. And it still carries a pretty good weight for its size at 26 ounces. Being a military pistol, that is not too bad. This is the lightest pistol on the table today. And because the 9x18 Makarov round is a very manageable round. It's not as stout, as they say, as the 9mm Parabellum. But this is quite a capable round. And this is a good concealer. This would be good for inside the waistband. Now this is 26 ounces. While the Star was 35 ounces, and the reason I said that the Star wouldn't be a good inside the waistband concealer is because 10 more ounces is hell. That's 10 more ounces, right? And back to the Star pistol. The Star pistol is carried like a 1911, cocked and locked, right? So, cocked and locked, just like that. No shooty. Condition 1 manual of arms here, right? It's single action only. And the Bulgarian Makarov is a double action, single action blowback operated pistol. And the safety is also a decocker. So, as you can see, it decocks it, and now it's the safety. The trigger travels nowhere, right? So how you carry this in double action with the safety on, this is how they recommend it. And they also recommend that because the firing pin is a free-floating firing pin, which they say when you drop this handgun, it can cause it to go off. I don't know that anybody actually ever had that happen, or how many people had that happen, but or you could just turn the safety off and take your chances and carry it in double action. Now that's what I do because I don't anticipate the pistol coming out of my holster. So I don't anticipate dropping this thing from any sort of considerable distance and having it go off. But it is all up to you. As someone telling a lot of people this, I'm going to tell you to use the safety. But I don't. Because the double action trigger pull is a long, hard double action trigger pull. I would say it's probably about 15 pounds. It's smooth, right? Now I'm going to get a lot of people telling me, don't pull the trigger without a snap cap. Don't do that. All right, it's not your gun. Shut up. But yeah, so this is the most fun gun to shoot. Now, for recoil purposes, this is a very manageable recoil. And I'm not sure why. It's probably a function of it being a blowback operated pistol. That may not even be the reason. It could be just because this 26 ounces that it is tames the recoil. Or it could be that I'm just that good. Yeah, I prefer the latter. But anyway, this is my favorite gun on the table. And so next, let's go ahead and look at the CZ83. The CZ83 is chambered in 380 automatic. You guys saw my video last week. You were all glued to your sets, right? Now the advantage that the CZ83 has over these other two, the Star Model BM and the Makarov, is that each of those Star Model BM and Makarov are chambered in 7 or 8 rounds. This is chambered in 13 rounds of 380 automatic with a double stack magazine right here. And the magazines really weren't that expensive. I got another one for just $19, and these days that's a pretty good deal for a magazine. But 380 automatic. This is also a blowback operated pistol, and you can see that there's similarities with the barrels on these blowback operated pistols, like the Walther PPK, like this. So it's a blowback operated pistol as well, and just as easy to take apart as the Bulgarian Makarov. Same kind of method. Now this is not a decocker model. This is a double action, single action, but this is not a decocker model. This is a safety model. So you could put the safety on and carry this cocked and locked, or you could carefully, not pointing the handgun at anyone, and gently release your hammer and carry this in double action. You could do either. Of course, I'm going to recommend you use the safety, but this is a 380 automatic, which means you can find the rounds for this a lot easier than you could find, say, the Makarov rounds. It's a shame you can't find the Makarov rounds that commonly, but then again, it's not that commonly carried around. 9mm Parabellum is. Now the trigger pull for this is quite light. This is another very light trigger pull. Let's bring it up here close for you. It's just moving a little bit. It's not even really travel. And then I'd say, yeah, about 4.5 pounds, 5 pounds. Very nice. Let's do it again for you, right? And the reset is very short. Now I'm saying the reset is very short, and that's because this is a surplus pistol. I'm not saying the reset is as good as your competition race gun or your Sig Sauers or your Agent case, but this is a surplus pistol, and this is a pretty close reset for it. Here we go. Right there. Now that's not bad, is it? Right? And the trigger pull, of course, again, is very light. Recoil for this is very manageable. Again, this is the second heaviest gun on the table at 28 ounces. So the recoil is manageable, and double taps with this gun are very easy to do. And again, I keep talking about the weight when compared with the round. The 28 ounces that this is does help with the recoil. And of course, I am going to discuss recoil. I'm always going to discuss recoil, though some people do get annoyed with me. They talk about what's the big deal with recoil. You should train with whatever round you're using. But some people are recoil sensitive, and we don't want them to be discouraged from defending themselves if somebody's trying to talk them into shooting 50 AE, okay? That's not necessary all the time. And people are starting to find these days that 380 automatic is really no slouch. A lot of people have actually been killed by 25 ACP and 32 ACP. And it almost always boils down to the shooter, not the round. Or to put it a different way, it boils down to the thrower, not the spear. So shot placement is very important. Of course, use as big a round as you can capably handle. So let's not get down on these smaller calibers like 380 automatic because, well, we haven't found a person yet that would volunteer to stand in front of 380 automatic to prove how puny it is. So this, though, has 13 rounds of 380 automatic. So even if one considers it to be a diminutive round, you can rain 380 automatic on them compared to these other handguns, which are chambered in 9mm and 9mm Makarov. So this is a very fun gun to shoot as well. Still, my favorite gun to shoot on this table is the Bulgarian Makarov. I do love this Bulgarian Makarov, but I have a good time shooting all of these. But the purpose of this video was just to get 3 of these old war boys or police boys or whatever it is together for a good look. And of course, you know, these all can be found for under $400. Now, that is not bad, folks. You can get a very capable, very nicely made pistol. And the pistols from these era were made much more sturdy and much more reliably than the pistols of today. I have to say, and that's my opinion, but I have to say that you couldn't go wrong with any of these 3 just for the purpose of having them. If not, even just for family defense and everything like that. Not bad at all. Of course, I would rather carry something in my waistband, like a 20-ounce gun, like my Walther PPS M2 or something like that, inside the waistband. But still, these aren't bad. And this is it. We've had Czechoslovakia, Spain, and Bulgaria. And speaking of Bulgaria, Patreon. If you like what I've been doing on the Two and Proper channel, and you'd like to see more frequent content, better content, and for things to get a lot more lively around here, why not consider going over to Patreon and becoming a supporter of the Two and Proper channel and the Two and Proper network? Because again, you know, YouTube's not exactly supportive of free speech after all. So many of us content creators are depending on things like Patreon. Tell your friends. So if you like what's going on the Two and Proper network, tell your friends about Patreon, but also tell them about Two and Proper on YouTube, and don't forget about Two and Proper on WordPress. But that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. My name is Chris, and this is the Two and Proper channel. My email address is scrolling across the bottom of the screen as we speak right now. twoandproper@gmail.com. Right, and I will answer you, provided you're going to be polite about whatever it is you have to say, and if I've got the time. That's it, folks, and again, thanks for watching. God bless America, and keep on protecting your families, yourself, your country, its flag, and its honor. It's the patriotic thing to do. You guys know that it is the right thing to do.
Go.
Yeah.
Go. Nice shot. She hit it right off the bat.